Hi everyone, it's Mel here and welcome back once again to my channel. First off, I just want to say thanks to you guys for the response on the banter that I posted recently. I know a lot of you guys seem to have enjoyed it and there have been a lot of positive comments and stuff, and some new people have subscribed and joined along, which I'm really appreciative of. So I just first off wanted to say thank you for that. If you haven't seen the banter and you want to have a look around the van, then I will leave it linked below. So today what I had planned to film for you guys was showing you my shower setup, what we do for showers in and around Europe and all that kind of thing, but once again the weather has not been on my side and we've been staying in the Black Forest in Germany. It's been rainy and miserable and thunderstormy, which is such a shame because it's such a beautiful setting. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still looked cool watching the mist come down from the mountains, but generally it just hasn't been great weather, and now it's later in the day than I would have liked, so filming outside you won't really see much. Anyway, so I will definitely get that up next week if you are still interested in seeing our shower setup and stuff like that. So instead of that video, I figured it might be interesting to let you guys know how we find places to stay where we wild camp. As you may or may not have known, we've been through the UK, we've been through Belgium, we've been through the Netherlands, which was a little iffy as you're not actually allowed to sleep in your car over there, it's illegal. And then we've been to Germany, and very soon we're going to be heading to Switzerland. So basically this video is just how we've found places to stay in all of those different countries, and the answer is actually very simple. Basically, since we've left Northern Ireland, nearly every single one of our spots, bar one or two maybe, have come from an app called Park4Night. So basically what Park4Night is it's where other people have gone and camped and then they upload the locations of those sites with their benefits, their downsides, onto Park4Night. So it's a really good way of finding places to stay. So what we typically do is if we're heading towards a certain place or a certain city or a certain town, we will look on Park4Night on the map view, and you can basically look around, and we try to stick to areas that are generally rated like 4-star and above. I think the maximum rating is 5 stars. So generally that is how we find our parking spaces. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge lover of this app. I think it needs a lot of work done for it, but for something that you can download for free and use, it is absolutely excellent. You don't have to pay anything. I mean, I think you can pay a subscription and that allows you to comment and interact and do other things. We don't have that, we just have the free one where we can just find places to stay. It does have its upsides and its downsides. Its upsides are it has helped us find pretty much every place we've ever stayed. You'll be able to explore through and see like comments that other people have said about certain spots. It'll also show you campsites, caravan sites, and you can use it to find services like laundry, where to get water, etc. And what we generally try to stick to most of the time is the little tree symbol. So there's a couple of different little symbols that indicate what the area is like. So some of them will be a little tree, which means that the area is surrounded by nature. There'll be a little picnic table one, and that is a picnic area. Obviously the P for car parks. So yeah, we've used the app quite a bit. In fact, we've stayed at campsites a couple of times while I've been away, maybe about 3 or 4 times in the total of our travel so far. All of them we found on Park4Night. So it's also a really handy way to look for campsites too if parking in a car park or in the wilderness isn't your thing. Like I said, generally we go for the little tree symbol, which is surrounded by nature. So most of the places we've stayed so far, well, in Germany anyway, have been in nature areas, nature reserves. Like I said, the app does have its downsides. It's a little clunky. I feel like it needs updated or something, some work done to it. Like for example, if you select an area, you can't actually click back into it again until you've clicked something else. Sometimes you have to restart the app. Sometimes the directions aren't quite accurate, and normally it's quite good though because other users are very quick to kind of put that into the comments if they've noticed. And we've come across 1 or 2 places, particularly in Germany, where it has been rated really well on the app, and because obviously people aren't camping there all of the time, we've arrived and then there's no camping forbidden signs, which gets a bit annoying because then obviously you have to rework out where you're going. We've definitely had a few times where we've arrived at a place and not felt overly comfortable there, just felt a bit weird about it. I personally hate parking, like off-street parking, which we've only had to do I think once or twice. Once I think was actually before we left for the Eurotunnel. We stayed in Dover, like on the docks, but it was just a bit weird. I mean, it was kind of cool because there was a line of camper vans, but I just feel very, I don't know, I don't like it. I prefer to be in a nature area. Another really cool thing about Park4Night is a lot of people are actually using it now. So A lot of the time we've been on our own in spots, but definitely about 50% of the time we arrive somewhere, there'll be another camper, and sometimes we'll not pass each other or speak, but then there's been a couple of times where we've crossed paths with people who have used the app and we've had a great conversation about traveling and where we're traveling and where they're traveling, and you can actually meet some really interesting people, and I don't think if we'd been finding places without that app we'd have come across those people. Another great feature, which I don't think I've mentioned yet, is you can actually narrow down your search window. So for example, if we're getting low on water, we can carry about 50 litres of water, and we generally use that for like cooking and making teas and coffees and stuff like that. Whenever our water starts to get low, you can go onto Park for Night and basically narrow your search down to areas where there is water available. If you only like staying in forests, you can narrow your search to only forests. If you're looking for a car park, then you can narrow it down that way. We've used the car park symbols quite a bit if we're finding somewhere to stay for the day and go into a city that's free. So users from Park for Night will go on after they've been to the car park. They'll say whether it was free or whether you had any costs, and like sometimes it's been worthwhile if someone's found a cheap car park really close to a city, then we've gone there and gone into the city and then gone back out and found a little nature spot somewhere else. So I highly recommend trying the app, especially if you're having a difficult time finding places to stay. Like, I know it's quite stressful, like especially if we've left it. What we've learned is to leave early enough so that it's not too late by the time we find somewhere to stay, because then if you get there and it's not quite the right setting or you feel a bit comfortable, it can be very frustrating, especially if it's very late, to move somewhere else. But I feel like it would be quite difficult, especially in Europe, to find places to stay without using the app, because it can be quite stressful going in and out of places and then finding out they're forbidden, or finding out that there's like joyriders in the car park, like God knows. So at least you can find this app, and if people have had bad experiences, they will state it. If they've had good experience, they will state it. You can find out what amenities are around. So if there's bins, showers, toilets, a place to empty your chemical toilet, like basically anything that you need to search if you're a van lifer, you can search for on this app. And that is basically what we have used for wild camping throughout all of our travels so far, and what we will continue to use, because it's been a really good resource. So let me know in the comments if you guys have been traveling, what did you use to find certain places? Have you tried Park for Night? What's your experience been with it? I'd definitely be interested in hearing other people's experience with Park for Night, because as much of a great resource is and how much we've really got use out of the app, it definitely has its downsides. So yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what other people think of it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that too. I will be back very soon with another video. I'm going to definitely show you guys my shower setup next time. If you have any other questions or comments or anything like that, leave them below and I will either answer them or I'll make an entire video on them. But thank you for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you guys on the next upload. Bye!
I'll raise a glass to you, and you'll raise a glass to me, and when they're half full, we'll top them up with